This car was one of a handful they built as a prototype with a 6-cylinder 2.2 litre fuel-injected engine. With this configuration of engine, this is the only one known to still exist. I bought it as was for not very much money. The cylinder head had corroded and it needs quite a bit of work. I love it. I've got a few Mercedes, but you know, at the end of the day, this little car is probably close to my favourite. As you can see, we've restored it into a classic 50s racer, and she goes very, very well. I spent all my life in the auto industry with Mercedes. Since a 15-year-old, I went there as a tech and did an apprenticeship and ended up owning the business with my partners. So you might say I'm a bit of an expert on Mercedes, and we always have run a Mercedes in the Classic Adelaide. So the comeback for us is exciting and a nice touch.
It's Saturday morning and the Classic Rally notches up a gear as the field leaves Victoria Park and heads for the Utter Delights Adelaide Hills. Following the remaining 8 competitive stages in the hills, the day ends with a champagne shower at Victoria Park. One of the cars set to thrill at this year's Classic is the modern-day recreation of the WRC winning Audi Sport Quattro S1, driven by Queensland rally legend Stuart Reid. Originally built in 1985, this is the most powerful rally car in the event, with over 550 horsepower at the wheels.
It's a bit of a handful. They're quite a short wheelbase, which means when you got sort of 550 horsepower on tap, they get very twitchy. They're easier to drive fast than they are to drive at 6/10. If you're hard on the accelerator and then hard on the brakes, the cars, it might sound a lot silly, but the car's a lot more stable than it is at half throttle, 3/4 throttle. It gets very twitchy and nervous, and then I get twitchy and I get nervous. And the navigator's under the dash hiding. It's a very popular car wherever we go that people always associate with seeing them on TV. So get the opportunity to see one live well, for me it was a boyhood dream, but it is a very good replica. It's not a real one, unfortunately, but they are very, very, very rare and very expensive. And I suppose if you did own a real one, there's no way in the world you'd tear up and down the highway on them.
The Audi Quattro runs in the demonstration class of the event, which is limited to 130 kilometres per hour and not timed, but gives owners and manufacturers a chance to showcase upcoming models and contemporary classics. Also in the demonstration are the likes of Appleross Ferrari 488 GTB, never before seen on Australian roads. The 2015 model Porsche Cayman GT4, driven by Jim Richards, BMW's brand new M3, steered by cycling great Stuart O'Grady, and Mercedes' new AMG GTS, driven by local racing legend Vern Schuppan.
I've been doing the Classic Adelaide for quite a few years now. Luckily, Mercedes have stepped up with a lovely AMG car for us. People like seeing the classic cars, but there's an awful lot of people loving seeing them, you know, the most modern, technically advanced cars there are too. So this is a brand new Mercedes, an AMG GT, probably one of the first ones in the country. So I'm privileged to be able to enjoy that and give it a bit of a stick, you know.
Vern still drives like a 20-year-old. He's unbelievable, but we're very pleased to have him driving the new Mercedes GTS. Spectacular car, very powerful.
I raced go-karts when I was young. My goal was to get to Formula One, and I was 26 when I started, so I didn't have much time, and I was sort of in Formula One within 2 years. So I've just carried on, had a very nice career, driving in all sorts of categories. Alan Moffat asked me if I'd like to drive at Bathurst with him. So I drove with him in '83 and Dickie Johnson in '84 and '85. And I've just been lucky enough to drive some pretty good teams and experience all different kinds of racing cars. There's hundreds of thousands of people that like cars and like to see cars that they'll probably never be able to own themselves. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be driving that car that's probably $350,000 or something. We're just very lucky, very privileged, and it's nice to be able to see people also enjoy them, just if it's only to look at them.
The demonstration category is just one of the highlights of today. The morning stages of the Classic Rally offer a stunning tour of the Adelaide Hills, with a quick stop for morning tea in Nan and lunch in Stirling. Crowds emerge to enjoy the cars. Sparkling sponsor Deviation Road Wines offer onlookers a great local Pinot Noir Chardonnay. Craig Haseman begins the day in the lead, 6 seconds ahead of Kaplan, but at Chain of Ponds, the gap slips to 4 seconds. By Montacute, Kaplan moves into the lead. Following Stirling, the last stage of the day is the notorious 3-kilometre Mount Lofty summit. It's just one last sprint and then home to Victoria Park for the Champagne Shower. The podium sees various categories awarded for the two-day event. First up, the TSD Trophy. For cars built from 1986 onwards, drivers aim for a targeted average pace over time, speed and distance, or TSD. The winners, Jordan and Debbie Bridge, in their 2004 Subaru Impreza.
We're in a regulated class, so they give us an average speed, and we have to try our best to meet that average speed. Usually they're about 90 kilometres an hour, but we're limited to no more than 130 kilometres an hour.
Have you had fun?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Great fun. Yeah.
In Thoroughbred, a new speed-limited category for cars pre-1986, the trophy goes to Prisabilla and Sillins in their 1984 Porsche 911.
We have the same base time as the open competition guys, but we're restricted to a top speed of 130. So being our first rally, we decided that it's probably better to err on the side of caution, rather than competing with all the big experienced boys first time out.
In Shannon's early classic, Waring and McLean take the prize in their 1970 Alfa Romeo Giulia.
A couple of months ago, Gaz rings and says, "Do you want to come and have a steer?" I go, "Yeah, all right. What are we driving?" And he says, "Oh, that clapped out old thing." I said, "No, okay, we'll make up the numbers." So no, we're over the moon, mate. We're over the moon. That's sensational.
It's done 5 Classic Adelaides, first Classic Adelaide, and now it's finally won one.
With late classic going to Kaplan and Hughes. Finally, the winners of Shannon's Classic outright. Third going to Napstein, second to Haseman, and first place to Adam Kaplan in his 1985 Mazda RX-7.
We've had an absolutely fantastic time. Been a ball. The weather today has just been amazing. The car was great, the navigator was great, competition was great. They all sort of had problems. So awesome day.
Don't forget the driver. Driver was great. Driver was great.
Magic.
We did, good time.
We're happy with the result.
Happy with my driver.
The car was
He did
great.
all right.
Navigator, Dennis did an
Was
awesome
average,
job with the
average.
nose. Dennis is great at the notes all weekend. So, and we had a ball.
It's the third fastest car here, so we're thrilled. Absolutely blown away. We've been through some of the most beautiful country in South Australia over the last couple of days. It's just, you know, it's a great thing that's happening here.
Covering over 550 touring kilometres and 137 kilometres of competitive closed roads, the Classic Adelaide Rally has been a test of not only mechanical reliability, but a testament to driver skill and stamina. It is a true test of man and machine. After the break, the second and final day of the Victoria Park Sprint, and the Formula Ones take to the track.
It's being hailed as the heart-racing thriller with a lot of heart that leaves you wanting more.
I need backup, quick.
Refreshing, funny.
Hold on.
One heck of a ride.
You're a really good driver.
Australia's new #1 drama, Wanted. Tuesday after My Kitchen Rules.
Motorway traffic bumper to bumper this morning. Sorry folks, the peak hour has lived up to its
Don't look at me, I know. I should have called you, but I didn't. Now I'm stuck in this traffic. If only you did logbook services.
We do.
What? I thought I had to take it back to the dealer for that.
No, you don't. Lubemobile will come to you and service your car where you want, when you want.
Well, what about the logbook?
Yep, we stamp your logbook too.
Fantastic.
13 30 32. Lubemobile, your mobile mechanic.
Second supplementary, 16.
It's your first date.
That weekend in Venice. And the trip to Hawaii, all rolled into one. It's Cross Lotto's $20 million Super Draw this Saturday. Gamble responsibly.
occasion I love entertaining, but it can get a bit messy.
Yeah, but look, everybody had a really good night. That gravy stain has really dried in.
Not for long. Vanish Gold works on stains that are up to 7 days old.
Just make a mix, apply it to the stain and rub for about 30 seconds, then add an extra capful to your wash. Wow! Where's the sauce?
Rush into Repco for massive savings. There's 40% off trailer parks, a massive 45% off toolkits and tool sets, 45% off tool storage, and a massive 50% off all seat covers. Don't miss out. This weekend only at Repco.
Does your family need a mountain of data at home as well as out and about? If so, you'll love Telstra's great value bundles on NBN. For a limited time, we're giving you double data for your home, a massive 400 gigs on Telstra's medium bundle on NBN, so everyone can Google, Facebook and Minecraft to their heart's content. Plus, when you're out and about, get free Wi-Fi at thousands of Telstra Air hotspots across Australia and at millions of Fon hotspots overseas until June 30. Stream music, shop online or Skype a friend, all while waiting for the bus or having a coffee in the park. Just make sure you join Telstra Air. With the medium bundle on NBN, you'll also receive the Telstra Gateway modem, unlimited local calls, plus bonus national calls, all of this for just $89 a month. Hurry, this is a limited time offer, so to connect now, visit telstra.com/NBN or call the number on the screen.
Sunday sees the second and final day of the Victoria Park Sprint. This is a celebration of all things motorsport from nearly every era of racing history. Glenn Dix was once the official flag waver for the Formula Ones that raced on this very track.
I've been involved in motorsport for 60 odd years. There is a car out there today that was the first car to set tyres onto this bitumen, the Beatrice Formula One, and it's driven by Alan Jones. And it's a great privilege and pleasure and honour to be able to wave the flag at Ian and that car today. I'm very proud of Ian and proud of the car.
Among the throng of four-wheel mechanical beauties is a league of the two-wheel kind. It's time for the demonstration bikes.
My bike's a G50 Matchless. I race under number 27 and have been doing that for 24 years now. This Matchless I've raced all around Australia, I've raced it in New Zealand, I've raced it in America. So 4 years ago this weekend actually I was racing at Daytona around that banking on this bike. We're rapt to get invited as we were last year. You wouldn't get a better spread of bikes if you tried. I mean, we've got, CZ from Czechoslovakia, we've got Norton Inters, BSAs, Velisets, Manx Nortons, the Rex Axme. So pretty good spread from a pretty little club. And the interest was really good yesterday, and I can tell you there's a lot more people here today showing a lot of interest.
The classics of the event are the heritage touring cars.
It used to be called Group C Racing, group of enthusiasts that got original cars from back in the day.
This is a 1981 VC Commodore, as raced by the Recar team back in the day, which was Alan Brown. A friend of mine sort of restored this up a couple of years ago and made it available for sale, so I purchased it off him and we've been running it sort of fairly regularly ever since.
It's an A9X special built race body shell from General Motors. Alan Grice or Craven Mile Racing built the car in late '78 to do the Endurance Championship for Sandown, Phillip Island, Service Paradise and those races. Came second at Bathurst that year.
I managed to blitz the boys yesterday and got fastest time out of our group, so pretty happy with that. But Jimmy Richards is back in the boomer today, so it might be a little bit harder to knock off. We'll see how we go.
Jim Richards is renowned for his career in the Australian Touring Car Championships. In Adelaide, he gets to sit behind the wheel of a rare and immaculately restored BMW.
This is a 635 BMW Group C.
Now Group C was before Group A. That was more the local product, the Holdens, the Commodores, Ford Falcons, all sorts of different cars. And BMW went into that class with a 2-valve four-cylinder engine. And then in 83, 84, they were given the rights to run the 24-valve motor, which gave another 100 horsepower. So this is quite an iconic car, and to be back in its same guise as 83 and 84 is pretty special.
And from the old to the new, a little more technically advanced and a classic in their own right, are the BMWs used as the official course cars at the event. In the VIP tent, spectators enjoy wine tastings and food, with cheese from Utter Delights and wine from Riposte by Tim Napstein and Deviation Road.
They say you marry your dad, and so my dad was a petrol head and then I married one. And we're obviously cheesemakers, but to align ourselves, with something that sort of celebrates the Formula One Grand Prix, which I went to when I was probably 10, it was just a really great business alignment for us. We're a cheese factory based in the Adelaide Hills. We make all our cheese by hand, and we specialise in goat cheese, white mould cheese and blue mould cheeses.
Stage 2, the Adelaide Hills event, was the Stage 2 Utter Delights Adelaide Hills. We were able to give out some of our Australia's first King Saul raw milk cheeses as trophies.
Got a cheese!
So it was really special to be up there and giving those awards out. Well, first and foremost, we're here for the Adelaide Grand Prix Festival, which is just a fantastic event. I think for many years South Australia has really still had a large Grand Prix hangover, and there's a huge desire to see the original Formula Ones out here on the track. So first and foremost, we're here to see those cars.